Today we shall see the properties and structure of polysaccharides. One example that I am going to take is starch. Starch is present in abundance in potato, rice, and so many other food grains. The beauty with this starch is it is capable of storing all the energy with which we work. So this is the region where chemistry takes over, is taken over to the biological part, and it becomes a biomolecule. The arrangement of these molecules results in various types of structure. For example, if you see paper, it also is a kind of cellulose, is also kind of glucose fructose polymer. If you see cardboard, it also is a cellulose polymer. It has, if you hydrolyze it, can get starch. And if you see wood is also a kind of starch in cellulose, but with some oil in that, which results in preservation of that particular material over a long time. That is, as the number of polymers increase, the structural characterization increases. So let me share the screen of the introduction to polysaccharides. Here we shall see the structure. What are polysaccharides? They are a major class of biomolecules. So it is given as a biomolecule. They are long chains of carbohydrate molecules. That means they can have from thousands of such carbohydrates, 100 to thousands of carbohydrates, composed of several smaller monosaccharides. This is your definition. These complex biomolecules function as important source of energy in animal cell. Animal cells include human beings also, and form a structural component of a plant cell. It can be homopolysaccharides or heteropolysaccharides. These are the two classifications, homopolysaccharides and heteropolysaccharides. I will tell you what a homopolysaccharides and what is the heteropolysaccharides, depending on the type of monosaccharides. Polysaccharides can be straight chain like this and go like this, of monosaccharides known as linear polysaccharides, or it can be branched known as branched polysaccharides. So here is a very good example of the polysaccharides. So you can see that this is a glucose unit. And that means, you have C6H12O6. We have often written this as a long chain molecule. I have told you that this is a open chain. Okay, so it is converted into Haworth structure by means of a linkage like this. So this molecule is without strain. This can be with some strain, and it can lead to boat form or chair form of the molecule with O inside this. This O and this O are the same. This O and this O are the same. So these units are linked together here by means of a beta glycosidic linkage. Remember, in the last class we saw lactose, in which glucose and galactose were linked together by means of two types of chain. Both have the same structure. Unit 1. And it was linked by means of an oxygen, which we wrote like this. The other way around, this can be linked by means of oxygen here. Nice. So you have PA type of linkage and N type of linkage. This is alpha glycosidic linkage and this will be beta glycosidic linkage. So if the linkage changes, the final outcome structure is changing. So you can see that here the structure of glucosine it is getting only by beta glycosidic linkage, and that gives rise to, so this chain continues. This chain continues. So this unit which we have here, this one is this unit. So some branching is there, then again some other branching is there, so it goes on like this. So it takes the shape. So everywhere you have small units there, and the last units are those of the glucose units. And these are also glucose units, but branching is there. Okay. Now this is a property which I often tell the students while in class, that when you cook rice, rice can be cooked in several methods. You have fried rice, you make powder out of rice, and you make rice with hot water, you boil rice and you fry rice. When you perform different heat treatment, the chain formation depends on the type of heat that you give, and the resultant is a different type of molecules. Pori, which you get in the foods, is a different type of heat treatment. It changes its during the cooking. There are a lot of chain formation there, so it changes its shape. Therefore, it gets a puffed rice, right? We get a puffed rice. This is a slowly digestible compared with an ordinary rice which we have. The reason is there is some change in the structure here. So you have different units there. And rather than going units like this, you can have some units like this. Okay. So finally, this is the makeup of the molecules there. Now, it can be classified into two. That is the homopolysaccharides and heteropolysaccharides. This is one and this is two. A polysaccharide that contains the same type means, glucose means glucose only. Fructose means fructose only. Is known as homopolysaccharides. One of the important homopolysaccharides is starch. So starch has a molecular formula of C6H10O5 N times, where N equal to 100 to 1000. So you can get it repeated. So you can see that starch is found in our carbohydrate diet and exclusive in plants and stored in the seeds, roots, and fibers and food results. The chief source of starch are cereals, potatoes, corn, and rice. It is occurring naturally as small globules. Globules means, opposite of globule is a powder. You have powder means, it's a crystalline powder, but globules means something round like this and occurs in cellular tissues. These are soaked in water and crushed. The pulp. Pulp means, which you get after final, that is the final spinning of all those things and crushing them. And then this pulp is carried by a stream of water into a sieve. Sieve na jallade. Pulp na maavu mari varum. And the pulp வந்து ஜல்லடையில போட்டு அது வந்து separate பண்ணும். Okay. So the main part of our study is the structure of the starch. Is actually mixture of two structurally different polysaccharides. Polysaccharides le rendu vagayana irukku appdi. Okay, that is, one is amylose, the second is amylopectin. Amylose is 20%, amylopectin is 80%. When starch is heated in hot water, it can be separated into these components. Okay, that means starch, you submit it into heat, you get amylose plus amylopectin. That part is soluble in water is known as amylose. Remaining fraction is amylopectin. 20% இருக்குது வாட்டர் சால்யூபிள் இருக்கும், 80% வாட்டர் சால்யூபிள் இருக்காது. அதே தான் நீங்க அரிசி வந்து நீங்க நல்லா வாட்டர்ல போட்டு நீங்க கரைச்சிங்கன்னா ஒரு 20% வந்து வாட்டர்ல டிசால்வ் ஆகிடும், மீதி 80% டிசால்வ் ஆகாது. இட்ஸ் பிகாஸ் ஆஃப் தி amylopectin. Both amylose and amylopectin are composed of the D-glucose unit. This is an important point you have to write in your examination. That is, they are made up of glucose units. Here I want to again recall that we have seen the disaccharides. In the disaccharides we have seen sucrose, maltose and lactose. Sucrose consists of both the glucose and fructose units, and maltose had both glucose units, one in different form, and then the last one was glucose and galactose. So you have seen these two different things, but when the same thing is getting repeated, it is it is also same thing repeated in the starch, and they are linked by alpha glycosidic linkage. It's not beta glycosidic linkage, alpha glycosidic. The difference between alpha and beta is at the asymmetric carbon, if you have OH on the right, you will get a beta glycosidic linkage. If you have OH on the left and H on the right, then it is alpha glycosidic. That is the only difference. The amylose molecule is joined by alpha glycosidic linkage between C1 and C4. This is the third point you have to remember. First point is all are connected by D-glucose. Second point is alpha glycosidic linkage. Third point is 1,4 linkage. This is the important point you have to note. Okay, so this is the structure that is given there. You can see carbohydrate. This is a carbohydrate unit. This is nothing but glucose. Same here, glucose and glucose. They are linked by this is a pyranose form, linked by means of what is that? Beta linkage. Alpha linkage அப்படின்னா எப்படி வரும்னா இப்படி வந்து இப்படி போயிட்டு இப்படி போயிட்டு இப்படி போகும், இப்படி போயிடும். Okay, but that is not there. I'm just removing it and just concentrating on the structure. It is linked by this alpha glycosidic linkage. Repeated units are there. Sometimes some books mention it like this. Okay, so it will be linked by means of the you can see that this is also beta glycosidic linkage. This is also beta glycosidic linkage. Okay, so this is an ordinary structure without a strained cyclohexane ring, and this is a stereochemically satisfied cyclohexane. And let us see what amylopectin has to do with this structure. Amylopectin has a branched structure. Amylopectin has a branched chain structure. It is composed of chains of 25 to 30 D-glucose units. That is, you have to write amylopectin, which is 80% of the starch, is having about 25 to 30 D-glucose units joined by alpha glycosidic linkage. Between C1 and C4 of the next glucose units. These chains are in turn connected to each other by 1,6 linkage. Okay, that is, I'll show you here in this diagram. The number of D-glucose units in amylopectin range from 300 to 6,000. 6,000 is a very great point. Okay, what happens is when you fry potato, these units increase. These units may increase. When these units increase, they are not quickly digestible. They are not quickly digestible. So that is why the food that is fried and the food that is not properly cooked or overcooked has got more number of such linkages, and it is not digestible easily. That which is not digestible easily becomes a poisonous thing or toxic thing inside the body. So the linkages which we have been talking can be seen here as the beta glycoside linkage here. This is a beta glycoside linkage. Number 2, another beta glycoside linkage. So the linkage goes on through cyclohexane rings. This is the 4th linkage. This is the 5th linkage, 6th linkage, and so on. And you can see that it is taking some kind of twist. It's a spiral kind of twist. It is taking like this. Okay. So that twist, is having a particular surface area like this. This twist is having some surface area. It goes on like this and it is becoming twisted. So here you may have 1 and 4 linkages. Okay, note this very carefully. You may have 1 and 4 linkages within then the chain that forms, in this spiral. I'm just going to number one more compound. This is 4. This one is 5. This one is 6. This one is 3. This one is 2, and this is 1. What happens here is when you twist it, the first molecule is coming closer to another molecule which is having 6 carbon atom there. இதெல்லாம் சேம் தான், இன்ட்ராமாலிகுலர் தான். பட் இது வந்து பக்கத்துல வந்துடுது. இது இந்த ஷீட் அப்படியே பெண்ட் ஆகி இந்த பக்கம் வர மாலிகுல்ல 1,6 லிங்கேஜ் இங்கே ஃபார்ம் ஆகும். Right, 1,6 linkage here. This is ring 1, ring 2, ring 3, ring 4, ring 5, and then ring 6. அப்படியே ஸ்ப்ரிங் மாதிரி வருது. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 glucose units on that. Okay, overall 6 glucose units on that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. இது என்ன ஆகுதுன்னா, உள்ள ஏற்கனவே இதெல்லாம் ஆக்சிடைசிக் லிங்கேஜ் இருக்குது, கிளைகோசிடிக் லிங்கேஜ்ல இருக்கு, ஆக்சிஜன். பட் இது பெண்ட் ஆகும்போது அப்படியே சுத்திட்டு அப்படியே வருது இல்லையா, அப்படியே சுத்திட்டு அப்படியே இப்படி சுத்திட்டு இப்படியே வரும்போது இதுக்கும் லிங்க் ஆகுது. இதுக்கு லிங்க் ஆகுது. So this is a 1,6 linkage. This is 1,4 linkage. Therefore, the structure of amylose is given. This is amylopectin structure. Is given as a 1,4 glycosidic linkage in amylose causes the carbohydrate to left-handed helix. Helix na enna? Helix is a kind of structure which goes like this. Helix, helical structure. Right-handed helix எப்படி வரும்? Right-handed helix வந்து இப்படி வரும். Opposite வரும். So this is right and this is left-handed. Twisting தான். It just mentions the twisting of the helix, this structure. Okay. Then here are some of the properties that are there. So it is not having any definite melting point. It gives cellular solutions in water, colloidal solution in water. You heat it, you can just mix it. This is an hydrolysis of starch will with hard dilute acids. This is another property I am telling. Yields a syrupy mixture of glucose and maltose along with some saccharides. The mixture is called as dextrin. So they can ask you what is meant by dextrin. You can write dextrin is a hydrolyzed product from starch and with the hard dilute acids, which gives a syrupy mixture containing glucose, maltose, and high molecular weight saccharides. The mixture is called as the dextrin and is marketed as corn syrup, which is the basis of all tonics. Okay, the digestive enzymes in humans convert starch to glucose, which is the source of energy. In the presence of enzyme amylase. This is an important point you need to remember. So starch is converted into maltose, an important step in the manufacture of alcohol from starch. That is, you know, we often think of taking alcohol in a depressed mode, and it has become a lifestyle. In the cinemas, it is shown as taking alcohol when you are depressed. It is not at all needed. When you take sufficient quantity of starch and sufficient quantity of fruit themselves, the body already has got some enzyme, and it may be provided by some fruits also. The amylase is converting it into maltase, and then some of the starch which we have is converted into alcohol. For example, sorbitol. Sorbitol is a higher alcohol. Okay, so this alcohol helps in cleaning the body. And in medicinal terms, we call it as the soothing effect, or sometimes it sedates. Sedate means nalla thooka vaikkum, nalla normalize panni vitrum. Okay, so here is the helix that is formed there. Helix, just I told you that it forms a helix, twisting spiraling organ. This is a helix. Okay, the amylose helix forms a blue charge transfer complex with molecular iodine. இதுதான் iodine. நீங்க தேர்ட் இயர்ல ஸ்டார்ச் அயோடின் காம்ப்ளெக்ஸ் பண்ணுவீங்க. ஸ்டார்ச் அயோடின் காம்ப்ளெக்ஸ் அப்படின்னு படிப்பீங்க. இதுல என்ன இருக்கும் அப்படின்னா, சோடியம் தயோசல்ஃபேட் எடுத்து அயோடின் ஆட் பண்ணி நீங்க you will titrate it against starch. The end point is disappearance of blue color. The blue color that you see in your titrating vessel is a result of this complex. அயோடிமெட்ரி அப்படின்னு சொல்லி ஒரு சப்ஜெக்ட் இருக்கும் உங்களுக்கு தேர்ட் இயர்ல. அயோடிமெட்ரியில உங்களுக்கு வந்து அந்த நீங்க ஸ்டார்ச் போட்ட உடனே இந்த ரியாஜென்ட்ல உங்களுக்கு வந்து இந்த காம்ப்ளெக்ஸ் ப்ளூ கலர் வரும், டார்க் ப்ளூ கலர் வரும். அயோடினேஷன் ஆஃப் ஸ்டோன்ல கூட வரும். அந்த ப்ளூ கலர் வந்து இந்த ஹெலிக்ஸ் இருக்கு இல்லையா, அந்த ஹெலிக்ஸோட காம்ப்ளெக்ஸ் ஃபார்ம் ஆகும். ஸோ ரிமெம்பர் திஸ் இஸ் ஏ சார்ஜ் டிரான்ஸ்ஃபர் காம்ப்ளெக்ஸ். சார்ஜ் டிரான்ஸ்ஃபர் காம்ப்ளெக்ஸ் எங்க வருமோ உங்களுக்கு வந்து நல்ல கலர் இருக்கும். You will have very beautiful color wherever you have the charge transfer complexes. So this is an important test to find out if starch is present or not. When you add iodine, it gives blue color. So sometimes inside the body also you may have iodine is present in salt and iodine is present in brinjal also. So the starch iodine complex may give you some violet color or blue color. So this is an identification test in which you can find out the presence of starch. When the complex disappears, so what you do in this titration is you titrate it against sodium thiosulfate, Na2S2O3 plus I2. So it naturally gives NaI. So all the iodine disappears. Iodine complex with starch. இது என்ன இருக்கும்? ப்ளூ கலர் இருக்கும். ப்ளூ கலர். பட் இது வந்து ஒயிட் இருக்கும், கலர்லெஸ் இருக்கும். சாரி, ஸோ இட் வில் பி கலர்லெஸ். திஸ் வில் பி கலர்லெஸ். இது பியூரட்ல எடுப்பீங்க. இது பியூரட்ல எடுத்து டைட்ரேட் பண்ணீங்கன்னா அயோடின் வந்து காம்ப்ளெக்ஸ்ல இருக்கும் இல்லையா, அந்த ப்ளூ கலர் இருக்கும். அயோடின் வந்து கொஞ்சம் கொஞ்சமா வந்து இந்த சோடியம் தயோசல்ஃபேட் ரியாக்ட் ஆகி சோடியம் அயோடைட் வரும். ஸோ தி காம்ப்ளெக்ஸ் வந்து டிசோசியேட் ஆகிடும். காம்ப்ளெக்ஸ் வந்து டிசோசியேட் ஆகிடும். காம்ப்ளெக்ஸ் டிசோசியேட் ஆயிடுச்சுன்னா ப்ளூ கலர் disappears. That will be the end point. Okay, that will be the end point. So this is one of the best property of the starch and starch iodine reaction. So here today we have clearly seen what is the structure of that is the starch has a molecular formula of C6H10O5, and it is present in potatoes and corn and so many other food grains. It consists of 20% of amylose and 80% of amylopectin. We have seen how it is linked. It is linked by 1,4, and then when it twists, it becomes 1,6 linkages, and then we have seen what happens to the starch iodine complex, how the color is there. I'll give some more properties of the some more properties of that. What is it? They are not sweet in taste. Okay, they are not sweet in taste, and just they are not sweet in taste, and many disaccharides are soluble in water, particularly starch. They are hydrophobic in nature. They do not form crystals on desiccation. Fourth point, they can be extracted from a white to form a white powder, starch powder. They are high molecular weight carbohydrates. Inside the cells, they are compact and osmotically inactive. Osmotically inactive means, what is osmosis? In the osmosis, you have a particular layer, a semi-permeable layer. High pressure liquid is there, low pressure liquid is there. So high pressure liquid will always go towards the low pressure liquid. Okay, this is semi-permeable membrane. Inside the body, you have several membranes. The starch does not go like this. It requires the leakage. So what happens to this? When the cells lose this energy during the course of diarrhea, motion எல்லாம் நடக்கும்போது ஆஸ்மாசிஸ்ல இருந்து என்ன ஆகுது, அந்த ஸ்டார்ச் எல்லாம் வெளிப்படுது, அதனால தான் வீக் ஆயிடும். Normally, this inside the cells they are compact and they are osmotically inactive. Okay, but if you some microorganisms or some other toxic things go, they result in leakage, that we call it as the diarrhea. So if you require, you take some oral solutions and restore the osmotic pressure. To restore the osmotic pressure. The 8th point is they consist of hydrogen, carbon, and oxygen. The hydrogen to oxygen ratio being 2:1. So more hydrogen, and that means it is just like a water. Hydrogen 2 is there, oxygen 1 is there. Okay. So the structure as I have already explained. So it is, you can write any type of structure. You just repeat like this. These are all glucose units. this is the beta glycosidic linkage. Okay, that is a structure, a molecular weight may vary. So all the notes that I've been giving here, I will just post it in my YouTube video. You can see the entire notes there. I'll also give some examples of heterosaccharides. So it will be very useful for you to understand them. So if you have any doubts, you can ask me there, and you can even ask for, if you in all my YouTube lectures, you can see that the description has got some writings. Now this writing is, you can take it as a notes, it is easier for you to copy. So I suggest that you write at least once all these notes, you write at least once in your notebook. Then you can remember. You draw the structure 2 or 3 times, you will never forget it. It is very easier one. Not only it is easier, it is also very essential one. Okay, so let me stop here.